Welcome to PPR Podcast number 91. My name is Paul. To the right, the star of the podcast, Mr. Burt Grossman, who is a co-host of the Prep Picks Report and president of the San Diego Strike Force. We should mention the San Diego Strike Force are our lucrative sponsors for this podcast. We are very grateful to you and the team for making this possible.
You're quite welcome. Anything for the community.
Would you like to introduce our community, our special guest?
Chancellor James, you remember him from Steel Canyon High School, Boise State, and then the 49ers.
Chancellor, long time, no chit-chat. I miss that smiling face, young man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you guys having me. First thing I want to say, though, is I want to give my condolences to Coach Keir, Kimbrough. I haven't been on here for a while, and he was a big part of my life. And he spoke well about Bert and also you yourself, Paul. I don't think he liked you that much, but it's okay.
He warmed up to me at the end.
Yeah.
He did.
Only because we're friends. It was like, you got to fight proxy.
But anyhow, that's nice of you. Yeah, Coach Kimbrough was a force, and whether you liked him or not, you can't help but he put the kids first. And
For sure.
and everybody respected that about him. And you know what? Our differences were stupid. They were stupid ones. So, but we learned to coexist, I think, is the most important thing. And that's a sign of his maturity, not mine.
He's simple. As long as you're a Steelers fan, Keir liked you. You're fine.
That's it.
All right. Well,
that's all you need to do.
And then allow me to say one thing. Did your mom's surgery go well?
Oh, dude, man, thank you for bringing that up, man. Yeah, she's doing good. She's staying with me right now, so she's in her room. She got all the food that she needs. That's all. And when you're in bed rest, all you want is food and TV,
Yes. Well, please tell Karen I wish her well. I know she had it was a back issue, right?
Yeah. So she has fibromyalgia. I don't know if you know what that is. It's untreated pain in the body. Please send your prayers, whatever religion you are. If you believe in spiritual awakening, if you believe in crystals, send all that to her.
Okay, fair enough.
That'd be helpful.
Fair enough. All right. So with the prelims out of the way, let's talk a little bit. Man, it seems like forever. You've had this whole career happen on the periphery, but you made it to the show, and now you're looking to help other people make it to the show. Is that a fair synopsis?
Yeah, that's a fair assessment of what I'm doing. My business is called ChanceSports. As you know, as times change, people change, and the way that people look at football is a little bit different. Probably when you guys are growing up, they were probably wearing the leather helmet still. I understand.
Yeah. Thank you.
When I was growing up, everybody was into tackling. Football was the greatest thing in the world. Will Smith came out with a movie called Concussion. The thing with DeMarlon Hamlin happened. The thing with Ryan Shazier happened, and so everybody got into flag football. And so what I wanted to do with ChanceSports is kind of bridge that gap between that 8th grader that's never played flag football, that's never played tackle football before and wants to go into 9th grade. So I wanted to bridge that gap and teach kids how to tackle the right way. And so that's what I'm doing with my camps. But also I allow training for kids that, they don't feel like they're necessarily enough to play in a team organized activity. They could come into ChanceSports and still play a prospective sport and get better until they're ready to actually play on a team.
So do you focus just mostly on kids in football, or can one of the kids' moms come in there and train with you, or a sister?
Yeah. So I focus more on sports as like basketball, girls soccer, and football. I myself, I'm a trainer. I have other trainers that work with me as well in their prospective sports. But I usually stick to sports. I'm not really about, let's say, shaping the body or getting people healthy. I know people that do that, but my specialty is just agility.
And what youth program did you play in?
Which one, as in high school?
No, youth.
Or Pop Warner?
I
played for the Balboa Raiders, American Youth Football. We were in Pop Warner before. Shout out to my dad, Richard Trisby. We went all the way to Florida and won the whole thing when I was younger.
Wow.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
You're the first one that hasn't said East Lake Panthers, I think.
Yeah.
Clark Moses since I've been here.
Hey, I don't know if East Lake wasn't even that big when I was younger. I'm acting like I'm old, but like East Lake just started booming, I think, the last 10 to 12 years. When I was younger, it was about Balboa, Skyline,
right.
BP, you know. And then now I think Torrey Pines is good at Pop Warner now too. I was like, this is crazy.
Well, how important is that now? Is the success of those youth programs indicative or the reason we have such successful high school programs and the reason why we send so many kids to college sports? Is that the starting point? Or how essential is youth football?
You know what? Youth football is very essential. If you ask me, I'm an old school guy. I believe if you're going to go play tackle football, you need to play tackle football when you're young. You can't just jump into it. I know, Barry, you're president of the strike force. If you see a guy that's on defense that can't tackle, how can he play?
No.
He can't play. You need to learn how to tackle.
I was so caught up with you saying you're old school. What are you talking about? Do you see who you're talking to here?
What are you, 31? How old are you right now?
I'm 28.
28, he's old school.
Geez, you're old school. I've got underwear older than you, Chance.
Yo, hey, okay, I understand that. But what I mean, I'm old school is a lot of these days, a lot of parents want their kids to be in flag football. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I help out with Carmel Valley FNL and also Rancho Bernardo FNL with their programs. I'm a consultant for them. So there's nothing wrong with flag football. But, tackle football is so totally different than the game of flag football. As in, put it like this. Say like this. If you're in an alley and you're by yourself and you don't know jujitsu or taekwondo or anything, and a guy walks up to you and then he wants to fight you, you're going to feel a little discouraged. But if you know jujitsu and taekwondo, you're going to be like, I can handle the situation. And that's the same thing with flag football and tackle football. You need to understand the capabilities of how to tackle. And also, you learning how to tackle is also going to keep you safe on the football field. And so that's kind of what I'm doing with ChanceSports is I'm bringing that avenue to players that have not been able to get the right coaching in tackling. So to answer your question about Pop Warner AYF, it's a necessity when you're wanting to be a good football player. Now, there are outliers that start in high school that end up being great. I've seen multiple of them in the NFL.
So you bring that up. So that's a question we always get here. I mean, the difference between tackle and flag. What do you think? I mean, since you played, it's blown up to, this proportion is crazy. 7-on-7, these tournaments, these clubs. Man. I mean, are you in favor of them?
I'm in favor of football. So anytime somebody's playing football, I'm happy. You know what I mean? I love it. Well, so if I were to rephrase your question into which one will I prefer tackle football. But 7-on-7, what that does is that helps the receivers learn how to run the routes. I think you know how important it is for a receiver to run the right route. Mm-hmm. I feel like it helps out with quarterback's accuracies as well. They don't have a rush though, so that's the thing.
Right.
Then also, as a DB, you have to learn how to play man-to-man coverage, and you have to learn how to you have to learn how to play as a defense. And so, 7-on-7 helps your defense with coverage, and it helps your offense with timing and running the right routes. So It's just a different ball game altogether. But there's a need for everything.
I'm pretty sure you could play quarterback with no pass rush. 7-on-7. And that's the part that bothers me. It's like the biggest part of defense is a pass rush.
Now they have the Giant skills camps, which are trying to give those kids something to specialize. But how big was 7-on-7? I'm trying to remember, Chanceller. Please don't forgive me because my mind is soft. But you were 20. You were 20. When did you graduate? 2011.
12. Graduated 11 last
12.
season.
12. Yeah. 12, right. So 7-on-7s weren't big then. You know what? I think 7-on-7s got big once social media got big, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once social media
Bingo. You hit it right out of the park because they almost work in concert with one another.
They're hand in hand. Neither of them matter, but we made them matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I'm just being honest. Yeah. You're not going to win a 7-on-7 championship and somebody's like, oh, he's a great football player, But we only had passing leagues then, and the biggest passing league we had was the San Diego State one. I don't know if you remember those ones.
I remember that.
Those are humongous.
And there was no clubs. There was no clubs. It was just teams.
No, and so this whole club thing is new to me too, and I think are people getting offered from 7-on-7?
Absolutely they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely are.
But let me tell you a story. Let me because A lot of things have changed in this demographic of football because there's a story of this kid. He transferred out of a school, right? And a coach had said, "Hey, I'm gonna get you an offer from this college. If you just transfer over to my team." The kid transferred, and the college offered the kid. Do you think the kid ended up going to that school?
No.
No. And so I feel like these 7-on-7 stuff, these kids are getting offered and they're fake offers. And how is that even fair? How are colleges and coaches able to do that now? And so that's, I think, one little dynamic of how the 7-on-7 things are going and all that, how they're swindling kids to come to their school because they're playing on a nice 7-on-7 and they're getting championships here. And now you got these offers and then they're not real offers. I feel like they're swindling the kids and the kids are not really getting the right advantages that they need.
Man, you are animated just doing an interview. I see why you blew out your ACL 3 times. Man. Hey, and that's my next question. So I've never seen anybody have 3. So you had 2 in college, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And then you had, what is it like? What is your feeling like first preseason game? You're with the 49ers, you blow out your ACL again. What goes through your mind at that point?
Man, dude, it's pretty tough. You know what I mean? Just because I was doing it really, really well. I had moved myself all the way up to second string. I was first string dime. It was like the first preseason game. They had Eric Reed on their team. They had guys on that team that were actually really, really, really good. And so I blew out my knee for the 3rd time. And John Lynch, he walks in and goes, "Hey, I didn't know this, but this is your 3rd time doing this?" And I wanted to say no because I didn't, I didn't want him to be like, "Guys, you got to go, man." So I wanted to say no, man, no, but I said yeah. John's a really great guy. He goes, "You know what, Chance? We don't care about how many times you tore your ACL. All we care about is you doing the right thing, and we're gonna give you another chance." So, I was sad because I was on my way to being on the field, but I was stoked because I had a guy that was backing me, for sure.
Well, a Hall of Famer.
And that's the difference because you talk about old school football. Old school football, they would say, "Get out, just leave, go on, get out." You ain't getting bus fare, nothing.
Yeah, we're doing the surgery in the parking lot,
and then put a cigarette out on your helmet. That's old school.
But the story though is here you're a guy who obviously could play at every level, and even that sometimes. Even if you have the athletic ability, sometimes it's just not in the cards. And I think that's a message for high schoolers who are watching this right now that are putting all their eggs into one basket, make it or not make it or be damned. Even if you have the athletic ability to make it, sometimes you don't. And I think that's a story that, as painful it is for you to tell, it's one that has to be heard, is it not?
Yeah, for sure. I don't any kid that I train, I never lie to them. I'm brutally honest with them about football and what it is. When kids play football, I let them know you're not gonna be playing this when you get to 30, and if you are, you're Tom Brady. But 30 is young. I mean, you guys are laughing at me for being 28. You know what I mean? So it's like you cannot put all your eggs in the football. Yes, you want to live like an athlete. You want to eat right. You want to work out. You want to make sure you're doing everything right. But being just as great off the screen as you are on the screen is so important, and that has to do with integrity. When you're alone, what decisions are you making with yourself? And so I'm preaching that all the time because a lot of these kids, especially with the NIL, 7-on-7, these coaches always blowing smoke up their butt. They're living a fallacy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's the problem is they all look so far ahead that they miss the presence, which is probably the best time. So I'd ask you this: no money involved whatsoever. If you go back and play one more season, would it be youth? Would it be high school? Would it be college? Or would it be pro? No money, just fun.
Oh no, I'm going back to national championship with my Pop Warner team for sure.
And that's what these kids miss. They're all looking ahead to everything else they want to go to. But when you sit down at the end, you look back to it. I would probably go back to college or high school. But it's never the pros that anybody says I'm going back to.
No, because you know what? The pros is a business. It's what I mean. It's a job. You create friends at the job, but those friends are chosen for you. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, you're gonna be nice to your people at work, but like when you're on your Pop Warner team, these are people you grew up with. You know what I mean? These are memories that you're gonna be living through forever. I could go to take a nap right now, and I'll be on the field with my cousin. He's throwing me a touchdown in Florida. It happens to me almost every week, and I feel like it's not only the kids, but parents as well are pushing these kids to do just unordinary things. Let kids be kids. Don't go and switch their school just because he's good at a certain sport. He wants to play with his friends. Like, I get you want to put your kid in the best position as possible, but it's the difference between you living your kid's life and the kid living his own life.
You ever get that weird dream? Because I think I'm the only one who gets it. You ever get that dream now you're done playing? You're back in college and all of a sudden you have 1 year eligibility left, but you're like 40 years old and they want you to play?
Well, he has to be 40 first.
Yeah, no. But hey, I had a dream the other day. I was in college and I was my own age, and I'm like, my mom was yelling at me. She's like, "You haven't graduated yet?" I'm like, "Mom, I'm trying."
Mine's that, or I go back to high school. I'm in my last year of high school and I decide to stay, or I transfer to another school, but then I suck and I don't get a scholarship. I had a dream.
No.
Yeah. Bad dreams, Paul.
Hey, so where'd you go to college, bro?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. Is that where you're from? Oh, so okay, I get it now.
Right.
He grew up in Philly and is a Pirates fan. I don't know why he's not a.
Because they were good when I was at Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, because that's right. We are family.
Bonds, but
yeah. All right, I get it.
Okay.
Chancellor, tell us about the business a little bit more. How do people find you?
So I have a website. It's www.ChanceSports1.com. And so Chance Sports is the name. Yes, my name is Chance, but also I want to key in on people don't understand they don't get that many chances in life. And the way that you handle your chances is by being ready and making sure that you take full advantage of your opportunity. Kids, especially myself, I felt as if my life was never going to end with football, and so that's why I called it Chance Sports. It's because you got to take advantage of your chances. So you can find me on that on Instagram. It's also my name is Chanceller James on Instagram. It's at Chanceller James. And then those two things they work hand in hand.
Are you on Twitter?
Yeah. So my Twitter is at, I think it was CJ3. That's my Twitter handle. I don't really use that for my sports. That's mostly just for myself and me commenting on Austin Eckler leaving the Chargers.
I got one question for you before we wrap this up.
We don't have to wrap this up.
No, I don't know. You have the time.
I get to talk to this guy every 7 years. I'm going to talk to him for a while.
All right, because you'd have good insight. Your DC at Frisco was Robert Saleh, right?
Saleh.
So he is the head coach of the Jets now. Will him and Aaron Rodgers get along? Those two personalities, will they mesh together?
From what I know, hold on a second. I don't really know Aaron Rodgers that well, but from what I know about Robert Saleh, he wants to win. And so if Aaron Rodgers is coming in there to win, they get along. And he's also a defensive coach, and so they don't clash.
Right.
I feel like what clashes with Aaron Rodgers and when you get an offensive coach to come in and try to change up this offense.
Good insight. Through the ranks, who's the one athlete you stood across from or had to tackle or had to cover? You thought, whoa, this guy's the real deal. Who's the best athlete you've encountered?
Le'Veon Bell. I played Le'Veon Bell when he was at Michigan State, and he was 250 pounds. Listen, I was a freshman, and I was on the sideline. It was me and three other guys standing on the bench, waving our towels. He runs somebody over, hits the bench. All three of us fall over. That's how powerful this dude was. It's like, it was ridiculous. I think he hurdled three people that game. You go back and watch it. Crazy. Yeah.
Is that the guy, that Steeler guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Le'Veon Bell.
So you all out there like scrubs raising this thing, and they knocked you all over. Now you're
boom! We were like, what is that? You don't want to hit him. Hey, coach is like, you going in though? We're not going in.
He short-circuited his career. I think he was unstoppable that last season with the Steelers. Then wanted more money, and I think he ended up short-sheeting.
And then AB right after him. It's something weird when you leave the Steelers.
I think that was a mistake on his part.
No doubt, no doubt. And sometimes people have the wrong. Just give you insight. Sometimes people have agents that give them the wrong ideas about what their
Worth?
what their worth is, and also what their career could be, because they just get greedy. That's one thing about I'm giving a lot of shout outs, but I only talk to you every 7 years, so that's it. So, my agent, his name is Jim Miller. I think he knows you from over.
Yeah, I know who Jim Miller is. Sure.
Yeah, Jim. He's a great agent because he always was fair, and he always told me the right thing to do. And so that's another thing with these kids. They're going to meet these agents that want to give them everything like Reggie Bush, and they're going to get their Heisman taken away. Hey, I love Reggie Bush stuff, but make sure that you do the right thing.
Right.
And all right, so we got your best player. How about in high school? Who was the one player in high school you faced that was the best?
Oh, Tony Jefferson.
Oh, he's coming on next week.
Yeah, so me and Tony we're good friends. But yeah, he's so slippery. I thought he was gonna go play running back. He was so slippery, so slippery. I tried to tackle him, I couldn't do it. I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't have an offer yet.
And that was like Dylan Baxter's year too, wasn't it?
Who won the Silver Pigskin that year? Your senior year?
Dylan Baxter, wasn't it?
No, it had to be. Well, it wasn't my senior year. Dylan's a year older. Tony's a year older than me, and I think Dylan's a year older than Tony. No,
I thought they were the same.
I'm gonna have to go look. Do you remember who won the Silver Pigskin your senior year?
It was a quarterback from. Was it a quarterback from Colorado State? That went to Colorado Valhalla?
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to go look. I'm gonna go.
I wasn't on the payroll then, so
yeah,
don't look at me.
Jeez,
Do you do any homework before this?
I have no short-term memory. I'm sorry, Chancellor.
Hey, you just email me and I'll give you all the information I need. I'm really good.
He'll help you out.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up, talk to moms and dads out there. What's your message to kids? I mean, one of the themes that we've kind of. I guess the thing that makes me uncomfortable, Chancellor, is all this pressure to get a scholarship. And it's still, you are 1% of 1%. You're 1% of 1% of 1% that lasted, more than 5 years. So I'm with 1%ers here. But speak to me. I'm in the 99 percentile. And there are more of me than there are of you guys. So what's your message to them?
Well, I always call it the revenge of the nerd. That's what I call it when parents go out and try to make their kids be all these super kids. You know what I mean? The biggest thing with me is, just let your kid be himself. You know what I mean? If a kid doesn't want to do something, it's not because he wants to disobey you. It's because he doesn't want to do it. And then also on top of that, if a kid loves a sport, don't ruin it for him by forcing them to do unnecessary things, like having 7 workouts in a day. I think that's the worst thing you could do for a kid, is to have them be in football, tennis, basketball, training for football, training for speed, and training for agility all in one day. Let these kids be kids. First we were yelling at them for not going outside. Now we're yelling at them for not training. It's like, make up your mind. You know what I mean? You're gonna let your kid be a kid, or just leave them alone. But I say just let them be a kid, man. They only get one chance of being a kid, dude.
Great message. If the phone rings and it's the president of the San Diego Strike Force saying, "Hey, we need somebody on our defensive side of the ball," does Chancellor James pick up the phone? Does he answer that phone call?
Yeah. I say, hey, I'm a really good scout. I can find somebody for you.
I got him. I'm gonna have Tariq Thompson and Scotty Young all in the backfield.
Ooh. Hey, you might be doing something there.
Old school football, old timers.
Yeah. You're president. Hey, how's I just want to ask you, Todd Durkin doing? Is he still with Strike?
Who? Durkin?
Todd Durkin? Yeah.
Oh no, he's not there anymore. He was last year, but not this year. It's a new owner, so.
Who's the coach this year?
Oh.
Taylor. I can't pronounce his last name, and I've known him 5 years.
Okay.
Taylor Cronus or.
I'm going to the home opener Sunday.
Oh, it's what? Okay.
So
okay.
They open up. It's supposedly a whole new. It's not your father's strike force anymore. Chancellor,
No?
I can't tell you. Back in the day, I always just. I don't know if it was because I got along with your mom as well as I did, but I always liked you, and I just followed you with great enthusiasm, and I found myself always rooting for you. And now in our first conversation in 8 years, and you're exactly the same person. So to the adults in your life, kudos, because kids like you don't happen by accident, and it's an honor to chat with you. I hope we'll do this again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for having me on. Hey, Bert, honestly, if you do need a scout, man, hey, I'm here for you, brother.
All right.
All right, PPR podcast number 91 is now over.
How long did it go?
It is, we lasted, hang on, 25 minutes and 12 seconds, Chancellor, right on the button.
He said he was going to cut it down to 15. What?
No, I
He said it every podcast.
You just make crap up. All right, Chancellor, you're loved and respected, and if there's anything we can do to help your business, you know who to call, okay?
Thank you.
And I bet you if you don't call me, your mom will, so you might as well just call me yourself. All right.
Hey, you know, she's my best promoter. I told you.
Well, tell her I wish her a speedy recovery, and I'll see you down the road, all right?
All right. Thank you, guys.
Podcast over. 25:46.